Okay, well, welcome everybody to tonight's stream. I don't think we have an official name for this campaign other than the Dark Tower campaign as of yet. Um, so, as I'll probably say before every session, this is just something I created based off of Stephen King's Dark Towers. I don't own any rights to his material in any way, shape, or form. We're going to be playing with some homebrew uh, rules. If you don't like it, well, tough shit. Um, so last week, the group found themselves, for various reasons, gathering in the city, or not even city, the little town of Tull. As they had been wandering throughout the town, they all got a message slipped into their pockets that said to meet them at Sheb's and to tell Alice long days and pleasant nights. Upon entering and finding out about the previous bar owner Sheb and what happened to his three missing fingers, the group men all got together and met with Roland of Gilead. He kind of told them he was looking for the man in black who has come through this town and asked for y'all's help in tracking him down. You then went and spoke to Reverend Sylvia Piston, and that was pretty much Luna and Azair that went and spoke with her, and she tried to get them to convert to the religion of the man Jesus. But you didn't really find anything out about the man in black from her. And then you went and talked to the grocer, who told you about Nort, who had died from overdosing on devil's grass. And the man in black came through and actually brought him back to life. And that is pretty much where we are picking up. So I believe you guys were just in just outside of the grocers, pretty much. What would you like to do?
What time of day was it?
At this point, you guys stayed at the inn. You would have went and talked to Sylvia Piston, probably around 11 o'clock. So it's probably getting up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
If I remember correctly, I think somebody said that they weren't going to allow the guy who was brought back to continue existing.
Not exactly what we said, but I did invite the paladin to return the dead to their proper place.
Yeah. So
I did actually have something for you guys, because I know Zoro said without a map, it's a little bit hard to kind of picture things that are going on. So I kind of created a little one. Let me share my screen. So this is if you guys can see, this is a very rudimentary picture of Tull. You have Sheb's, which is the bar and tavern and that you guys stayed at, stable over here, church down in the bottom right hand corner, and these other buildings are just various either houses or the 2-story tailors, barbershop, grocer. People tend to live above as well.
I believe I was on a secret side mission about where the eggs come from. I still need an answer about.
Well, you wanted to go check out the stables.
Indeed.
You won't find any chickens in there, I can tell you that much.
I mean, the stables look like pretty much as run down as the rest of the town does. There were only about 3 horses that are even in there. All of them are very emaciated, look like they've been worked hard throughout their lives and are not faring well. They look sickly. They have boils and sores sprouting all over their bodies. It's not a pleasant sight.
These boils and sores, do they seem egg-like?
No, they do not.
Oh, thank God.
I'm I'm kind of relieved and yet still upset because I don't know where these eggs came from. I guess I will go back and try to figure out where everyone else is at this juncture.
So the grocers is, I didn't mark it on here, but it's this little square building at the little intersection. So unless y'all were going somewhere different, pretty much the group is just standing outside the grocer right now in the middle of the street.
So I did not get far and they're easy to spot. Got it.
Pretty much.
I still have no idea where the eggs come from, but it's not the sores.
Good knowledge to have.
So other than the paladin and the other one, what are you?
Cleric.
Cleric. Murdering the dead guy. What else were we planning on doing?
Wait, we're murdering a dead guy? How does that work?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You can't murder the dead.
He's already dead.
I mean, I'm in. It sounds stupid.
Everybody want to come on with us to go see the dead guy, the previously dead guy?
Reanimated?
Okay.
I think the word's reanimated.
I mean, if you're going to go search for Nort, he is not hard to find. He spends his time over at Sheb's, pretty much sleeping on the table, passed out like you guys saw him.
So the last time that we saw him is when I checked for a pulse and he
bolted.
jumped back up and walked away.
Yeah.
So is he out looking for devil grass? Is he back in town? Is he just walking around?
No, he went out. I mean, are you asking around town trying to find out where he went to? How are you trying to search for him?
I guess that would be the logical thing to do.
Yeah, hunt around town.
If I'm intent on returning the dead to their proper place, then I'd ask around where we could find the sleeping man.
I'm more interested in maybe talking to him as opposed to just slaughtering him.
Well, got to find some information, see what we can find about the man in black first, obviously, but end goal would be information about man in black, then return him to the ground.
But he
And we
knows
just think-
he's dead when the man in black came.
Well, we can find out. Let's ask around.
Okay. As pretty much the day before, pretty much happened the day before, not many of the townsfolk are willing to talk to y'all. They are very, very distrusting of outsiders. But I mean, the grocer has talked to you before. You can try and talk to some randos on the street if you want. There are a bunch of kids running around playing, but all of them are still kind of giving you a side eye, watching you from the corner of their eyes.
Maybe we need to offer them some candy.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Anybody
Do we
have
have
any
Do
candy?
we have a
No.
van with no windows in it?
Some puppies.
Well, the friendliest person to us right now is Alice, right? Why not just go back to the bar and talk to Alice?
Sounds like a solid plan. right around the corner.
Okay. As you walk into Sheb's, she is standing behind the bar, and Sheb is still at the piano, just kind of lazily playing a little tune to it. She sees you all come in and says, "Hey, honey, how's it going?" And I say, "Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's missing 3 fingers, so he's just,
We say hi to the bartender. We ask if she's seen the dead dude.
Oh, Nort. At this point, he's probably up talking to Reverend Sylvia. He does like to spend a lot of his time during the day up there. Usually, he'll come back to the bar and get a drink or two at night.
Well,
Well, that's interesting that a dead guy's hanging out at a church.
Ever since his funeral and he came back the way he did, he has been spending a lot of time with Miss Pittston.
Interesting.
Well, I don't believe we can talk to him at the church. She won't be as welcoming.
yeah, maybe we hang around the bar until he decides to come back, since we know he'll be here eventually anyway. Is there anything else we need to do during the day to maybe get supplies or get anything else, information?
I think that would be smarter than just having a group of 7 people sitting in a bar staring at the door waiting for somebody to walk in.
Kind of want to know more about how this funeral went, because apparently he had a funeral we weren't told about before.
Zoros, as you were asking about Nort, Alice slides you a piece of paper discreetly across the bar.
Awesome. I discreetly walk away from the bar and kind of like I'm going to go sit down, take a peek at it.
In the same scrawling handwriting that the first message came to you, it just has 2 words written on it, and it says status report.
Okay.
Okay, Steers wants to report.
All right. So, so I might work my way back up to the bar and say, we haven't seen our friend, but we have put out some feelers.
She kind of looks at you and says, I don't know what you're talking about, honey. Sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't by chance have a pencil or something I could write with, do you?
I think I have one up in my room if you want to go get it.
Sure, I'll go on up.
Okay. It's the same room on the 3rd floor that she took you guys to the first night. Yep, Roland is sitting on the bed, and as soon as you close the door, he says, I'm glad you got my message. Did the rest of the group go up with Zoros, or did Zoros go alone?
Well, they don't know what's going on because I didn't say anything.
True. Okay,
Yeah.
so then, Zoros would have gone alone.
So I tell them, hey, we're kind of running down some leads, but right now our best lead is the church, but they're pretty tight-lipped. A couple of our people are trying to infiltrate the church to maybe convert to the ways of whatever, and hoping we can work that angle. We're also hoping to get a hold of the handiwork of the man in black, see if maybe we might get some clues as to how he got what's his Mort back to.
As soon as you mentioned the man in black, his eyes kind of go wide, and he says, "You guys heard about him? He was here."
From what we can gather, he has been here and he has touched the life or death of another individual who is now hanging at the church.
He takes a very deep sigh and starts just rubbing his forehead a little bit, and when he continues, he just says, "This is getting worse than I ever imagined it could. Would you kindly go grab the rest of the group? I think there's more information I need to tell you."
I can do that. So I go down and I grab the gang and say, "Hey, we need to go talk to Roland."
As you guys make it up to Alice's room again, Roland's just sitting on the bed. He has his fingers crossed, and he's just kind of trying to think about what he wants to say. As the door closes, he looks around to each and every one of you and sighs before he starts talking. So I hear the man in black has been through here and has been messing with the balance of life and death. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's what we gather. There was apparently a gentleman named Nort who passed and then was reanimated by the man in black, and we are now seeking Nort.
I've
So that we
seen
may
Nort.
right the balance.
I've seen Nort around, but I never really thought much of it. You know, I've seen people that have been afflicted by the devil grass for a long time, and I wasn't surprised at the state that he was in. To think that he had died and been brought back to life, that hurries things a lot more for me. There's some things I haven't told you about the man in black in particular. I've been chasing him for pretty much as long as I can remember. He did some really bad things back where I'm from, but his ultimate goal is to serve his boss, basically the Crimson King. I can't let that happen. They want to topple the Dark Tower, and I will never let that happen as long as I am breathing. The forces of evil that gather in this town is a lot stronger than I was expecting it to be.
What can we do to help?
I think it might be about time that I go and confront the Reverend myself. And if you want to be there to help back me up in case I need it, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, from what we gather, the Reverend's not a big fan of you.
Yeah, I've pretty much gathered that as well. I fear she is in league with the man in black, and he would do anything he could to turn people against me. Anyone that is trained in religion, go ahead and give me a religion roll.
So while that's happening, I would like to ask him, all of us just came into town. We know you just as much as we know everybody else here. Why should we trust you over them?
That's a fair point. Ultimately, you can't trust me as much as you trust them. Only difference is I was paying you. They aren't.
That's a good reason. Thank you.
How do we know that you're not the man in black yourself?
He kind of like looks down at what he's wearing and is, in blue jeans
Non-black
and
outfit.
tan and just kind of looks at you a little bit.
Doesn't have to be a color, right?
Black like his soul.
Well, they call him the man in black because he traditionally wears all black clothing. He
Okay.
is typically mistaken for a priest in the way that he is dressed.
Just wanted to check. I mean, that's
You
You're-
passed.
That
you're
was a
cool,
good question.
yeah. Good
That
job.
was a good question.
So Faustus, with your religion check, the name the Crimson King starts ringing a bell in your mind. In all of the study that you have done, you remember that the Crimson King is an entity of pure chaos and pure evil. He has been trapped on a balcony of the Dark Tower for pretty much as long as time existed. He has been trying to break into the Dark Tower, but as of yet has not been able to do so. But it is prophesied that if he were to ever get into the Dark Tower, he would use what's in it to just turn the universe into pure chaos.
Okay. So, question for the DM.
Sure.
And do I understand the concept of the Dark Tower itself,
Give me a history check.
or it's more like the I don't know, the realm of the gods or some other name that I might know it as?
Give me a history check.
What about the rest of us?
I mean, if you're asking about what the Dark Tower is, then
That wasn't that
anyone
one.
can. You, apart from the reference of the Crimson King being stuck on the balcony of the Dark Tower, as far as you are aware, it's a tower and it's dark.
Okay.
Anybody else that wants to roll history to try and learn about, see if they've heard about the Dark Tower can?
I'm-
Nice story roll.
You
I
would
think there's
roll a
build-in
d20.
history.
So with that, if you would still roll the d20 and add the history skill number.
That's a 3.
Do you want to?
Well,
Andrew,
Luna got a
Luna, 16.
I got a nat 20, so that would give me a 25.
I got a 15. It puts me at an 18.
Okay. All three of you, Mom, Luna, sorry, through your through the work that your parents have done and all the research, you've read about the Dark Tower before. F, through your just wandering the libraries and all of your studies, you've read of the Dark Tower. Azair, your knowledge of it has been more folklore passed around in villages and villages that you've traveled to, and they all talk about the Dark Tower being the nexus of creation. F and Luna, you're getting into more of the scientific side of it. You would have read and you would know that there's a theory that there are an infinite number of parallel universes out there. But the one thing that is pretty much the key point to all of it is the Dark Tower. There are different versions of it in different realities, or at least that's what the theory says. But the Dark Tower itself is the true anchor to it all. If something were to happen to the tower, just life, creation, everything as you know it would just cease to be. Azera, your knowledge is more kind of, just folklore. They're the tales of the Dark Tower just being the key to different realities and many more realities than you could ever imagine. So that would be pretty much what you would know of the Dark Tower.
Quick question for me.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have ever made a connection with the Dark Tower with anything in my past?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I think that knowing what the Crimson King is would put me in a very uncomfortable position.
You're muted.
Faustus
Okay.
all of a sudden decides to just start miming his message.
All right, let me unmute because like I'm switching between my notes and the meeting. So knowing what the Crimson King is would put me in like an awkward position with Roland. So I think I would have to confront him. So if I'm still by the door, I would have to walk up really close to Roland and tell him.
As you walk up close, he stands up to meet you face to face.
So I'll stare at him straight at the eye and tell him, so you mean to tell me that this whole goose chase for a man in black all leads back to the demon, the Crimson King, and that he's about to break out from his prison? You should have led with that, because I would have stayed away.
You would have turned your back on the Crimson King and let him break into the Dark Tower? I think you might have a little bit mixed up here. The Crimson King is not in a prison. He can leave the balcony whenever he wants. He wants to break into the Dark Tower. As of yet, he has not been able to.
So this is about protecting, not keeping in prison.
My family line has been protectors of the tower ever since Arthur of Eld, and we will do anything we can to prevent the Crimson King from getting into the tower. And you say I should have led with that, but as your companion F pointed out, how can I trust you more than anybody else in this town? We just met yesterday.
That's fair, but you still asked for our help.
And that's what I was just about to say.
King that's a major detail.
How do I know you weren't agents of the Crimson King? The man in black can take many forms and has done so in my past.
Aren't you the one who gave us these notes to come and find you?
Yeah, because I saw something a little different, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to lay my cards all on the table all at once. I got to test it first.
And pay us while you're doing it.
Well, of course.
There you go.
Gotta earn our trust somehow.
I'm not, the world may have moved on, but that doesn't mean that I am naive to its ways. People don't do things for free.
All right, I'll turn back, lean against the wall, cross my arms. You have a fair point.
And you'll notice that entire time when you were trying to come up to him and try and intimidate him a little bit, He did not flinch, did not look away, did not look threatened at all.
Noted.
So, are we ready to go talk to the Reverend?
Yeah, is Roland going with us?
That was Roland asking.
Oh, yes.
And Nort, that the say, I think I'll go with you. I know Nort's there right now anyway, and he's the one I want to find.
Yeah.
Seconded.
I don't know that Luna should go if you want me to continue to try to get information about the church. If I go with you, then it will blow any cover I have of being able to become a member of the church to find out more.
If this goes sideways.
That would be your choice. However, I plan to make my presence very known to the Reverend and get the answers that I need.
Okay.
Also, if this religion is bringing back people from the dead, you probably don't want to be a member.
Well, I never wanted to be a member. I just wanted to fake our way into it to find out more information, since nobody in this town seems to really want to talk.
Faustus, give me a religion check, and anybody else that is trained in religion, give me a religion check.
Not as good, just a 10.
Did you roll, Hamilton?
Are
you trained in religion?
I am not, believe it or not.
Wow. Kind of
I
surprised
know.
the paladin is not trained in religion.
You would think, but
Now we're starting to doubt you're a paladin.
So Faustus, in your studies of different religions of the world, you have heard tale of the religion of the man Jesus. He was a humble man that went around trying to preach being kind to each other, but he made some enemies and was killed for what he was trying to teach. The religion itself does not hold any nefarious connotations. It's a fairly mild religion. It's not a big one, but it's not. There's nothing that you've ever read that has had any dealings with bringing people back from the dead.
Okay, fair. And this is more like talking to the DM. I was just kind of taking that stance because I do know, like, at least the religion I try to follow, undead is a big no-no.
Yeah. Yeah, and from what you guys have gathered, it's not that the religion of the man Jesus brought Nort back to life. It was very specifically the man in black that brought Nort back to life.
So, we making our way to the church then, folks?
I believe so.
Okay. Roland
Apparently.
takes the lead. Before he heads out, he makes sure his belt is tightly strapped, and you guys can see two rather large guns on either side of his hips. But he goes down to the bar and tells Allie that she might want to think about hiding for a little bit in case anything happens. So she just kind of nods and looks at him and hurries up back to her room, and he leads the way out of the bar, ignoring the little squeaking floorboard. And at this point, you guys have can see that the entire town is silent. Nobody is out on the streets. Kids are not playing. It's rather eerie how quiet it is at the moment.
I'm going to be looking everywhere.
Okay.
Well, this is not ominous at all.
Roll a perception check.
15.
Okay. Yeah. You pretty much see the same as everything else. Just very quiet. When the only sound is just the wind blowing through the town. Roland, just without hesitation, just walks straight to the church. And as you get there, you can see a figure standing in front of the doors of the church. You, at least Luna and Azair, recognize this figure as they went and spoke with her early in the day. But there is Reverend Sylvia Piston standing at the doors of the church. But she looks different than you guys remember her seeing. Remember her looking. Earlier, she just looked like a normal, early to mid 40s woman. Now, she looks like she is about 8 months pregnant. And she is standing there, holding her belly. And she sees y'all walk up to her, and she holds out her hand to stop you from coming any further. And she says in just a loud voice, "I will not let you hurt my baby. Don't even try." Roland steps forward and looks at her and just says, where did he go? Where is the man in black? And she kind of looks down and rubs her stomach, and kind of looks down fondly and smiles at the mention of the man in black, and looks up at you and says, "Oh, honey, you will never find him." And she lets out this otherworldly shriek that just pierces your ears and sends shivers down your spine before, as if floating, she backs up into the church. The church doors slam shut, and you start hearing the echo of doors slamming all throughout the town. And you start hearing some yelling and shouting about killing the interlopers. And we're going to roll in it for initiative.
Do I have any understanding of if that was magic I just saw? I am skilled in magic, so
You can give me an Arcana check.
I did quite well on it.
So what'd you get?
21. Oh, are we just giving up on that and just giving numbers now?
For rolls and checks and stuff like that, I need to know numbers.
Okay.
When it's something about like hit points and stuff like that amongst you guys, then it's not giving numbers. But anything with me, I need numbers.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I got a 21 on Arcana.
Okay. Yet you did easily see that it was a magical. You don't see many women just kind of up and float backwards.
You don't know what I see.
That is true.
What? I don't know what it is.
So for initiative, you're going to roll a d20 and then add your initiative bonus. This should be on your character sheet by your armor class, I believe.
Oh, it's on the front page at the top.
Of course.
6.
12.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start off in groups. Did anybody get it between 25 to 20?
I did.
Yes, I'm 21.
Luna
Okay.
did.
What did Luna get? Luna got, okay, so
22.
22, then Ransom. 20 to 15.
$18.
So Faustus got 18. 15 to 10. What did you get, Hamilton?
12.
And Azair?
12.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Whose dex is higher? Whose dex modifier is higher?
Her modifier is higher. She's higher anyway.
Okay, so Azair will go before Hamilton.
I'm probably last.
Nope, that would be me.
So 10 to 5. So Zoro's got a 6.
And F got a 4.
That's got a 4.
That's a sweet 4. It's a real good 4.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So before I knew we were announcing these things, I did roll stealth at a 25. And am I?
Yes, I saw in the chat.
Okay. I wanted to see if I was sneaky enough or not.
As far as you are aware, you are.
That's all I can ever hope for.
Okay. So first up is Luna. So as you are standing pretty much outside of the church, at this point you've just heard the sound of doors just slamming open, coming from like echoing throughout the town. At the moment, though, that is all that you have heard.
I think we need to turn around from the church, which is far away, and see what's going on in the town.
Give me a perception check. So roll the d20 and add your perception.
Perception. Where do I find my perception?
It should be under your skills.
Oh, here it is. I don't have perception.
She doesn't have it checked.
Okay. Then it should just be her wisdom modifier. So you would just add your wisdom, whatever your wisdom modifier is.
So go back to here, and your wisdom is on back here. Yeah. +3.
Yep. So whatever you would roll, you would just add a +3. You got a 12?
Yeah, total.
So you can see just townsfolk screaming out of various doors and houses. They have not started kind of walking this way just because they haven't had their turn yet, but they all have their eyes on your group.
Question for the DM. Can you put the map back up?
There we go. So let me see if I can actually.
So we're at the church at the moment.
So you all are probably about pretty much where it has the word church. And you guys have just heard the echo throughout the town. And Luna has noticed just townspeople coming out of all of the different buildings.
Are they coming down the main street then?
At the moment, they haven't started moving just because it's not their turn yet. They're just basically coming out of the buildings.
Okay, and then where the T is, that's a bridge over a river, correct?
It is a dry riverbed.
Okay.
So it's not something that would like impede their travel. They wouldn't have to go across the bridge.
So we don't really have any cover right now. We're just out in the middle of the open.
At the moment, correct.
The nearest cover is like a house or something to our left. That's away from the church, correct?
This one right here?
Yep.
Yep, that's just a little house, which also had a door slam open and someone coming out of it.
I mean, so can we talk about Luna's, like Luna says, hey, people are coming. Can we respond with, we need to remove the 360-degree potential and get our backs against the wall if we need somewhere, we need to find cover.
I mean, I'll let you guys quickly talk about it. Kind of just quickly shut
I
it
just
out.
don't think we should be sandwiched between a sorceress and an angry townspeople with 360-degree access to us.
I mean,
Where we are
I feel
right
pretty
now,
covered.
I'm about to say where we are right now, the only place it looks like we can go to is inside the church.
Or we could get to that house on the side.
I mean, we can try that. We don't know how big it is.
Well, I don't want to go in it. I just want to have something to our back so that we're not.
Okay.
We
But
are
that's
only
running
fight.
towards the people, isn't it? Because somebody just came out of that house.
Oh, they're going to come towards us no matter what.
Right. I don't see us.
We'll take care of that one person easy before the other one.
I don't see it. I don't see us. I'd rather have a fight in 180 degrees than 360.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. How
I mean, it's
far
a-
away is that building from us?
That would be probably about 60, 70 feet.
So it's not much
Okay.
for. It looks like it's about as far away from the church as it is away from the houses of the town. Correct? More or less.
It's further away from like the main aspect of the town. Closer than.
So we have a fighting chance of getting there. I think that's what we should do with our time.
So, dead sprint to the house.
I mean, why not force our way in the church then?
Well,
Sorcerer.
I was just thinking that the church doesn't have doors on all sides, right?
Are you? Well, you can look around the church if you want to on your turn.
but haven't we already been to the church and looked around?
Two of us have.
We weren't looking for doors.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually looked all the way around the church or if you just came up to the front door of it.
I just don't think being at the church is the best possible option right now with an angry witch and her bodyguard.
Question for the DM. Is it still like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or has it gotten later?
It'd probably be around, probably getting to around 5. The sun's kind of starting to go down, but still plenty of daylight.
Okay.
I can see in the dark though.
Okay, Mom, it's still your turn. Sorry, Luna. Still your turn. What would you like to do?
I'd like to sprint over to that house.
Okay, what is your speed?
Top right here. 38. Or 30. 30.
Okay, you can, if you take, use your action to dash, it'll let you go double your speed, so you could probably get to about right here.
The fork in the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then next is Ransom.
I mean, I guess if we're making a break for it, I will run that way as well. With a dash, I'll get same amount, 60 feet, and bonus action, pull out both rapiers, which are already mittened to me
Of course.
with spider silk.
Okay. Roland turns to the doors of the church and tries to push them open and pounds on them, but is just getting frustrated. So he will run over with Ransom and Luna, and he will pull out one of his guns faster than pretty much a lot of people would ever think possible, and you all hear just this loud echoing gunshot ring throughout the town as a hole appears in the when I switch screens, does it show you guys, or does it just show the map still?
Always use the map.
Okay.
Yeah, so far just the map.
So like right now you just see the map still?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, good. And as you guys just, after you hear the loud explosion, you just see a hole appear in the person's head as they just slump forward dead.
The person who came out of the house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. That is his turn. Next is Faustus.
I'll draw my mace and make a dash for it, meeting everybody else.
Okay. Is there?
Yes, I'll be following, and I don't know if I have dash, but
You could basically just, you'll use your action to basically just walk longer. So it's, everyone can do it.
oh, okay.
You have dash, spell dash.
Oh,
Disengage.
okay. Then yes, I'm gonna follow everybody else.
Okay.
Stay in the group.
Hamilton?
I am. I will. Oh, everybody, I guess. I'll run out with them and. Yeah, I'll run over to where everybody else is, I guess.
Okay. As you guys are running, you see people walking or pretty much running from the town. They're able to get about here. Let's see. The people from these two buildings that are close to where I just drew the X are going to get onto the bridge. They're not going to come closer, kind of wanting more power in numbers. But pretty much the townsfolk are going to be able to get to that X on their terms. So, Zoros.
I do my dash. I take up my my warhammer, and I follow. I'm the last one. I want to protect the flank.
Okay. So you do have a little bit less speed
Right.
than
I'm at
everyone else. So
25.
you're probably going to be about right there.
Right.
But still kind of making
Sure.
sure you're looking all around for any dangers as you're trying to catch up to everybody else.
Correct. I'm kind of protecting our backside in case somebody comes out of the church too.
Okay.
Well, I know I'm not going to stand there by myself, so I will.
You could.
I mean, I could, but I'm not going to because I'm not an idiot. I'm going to run to where everybody else was.
Okay. So you're able to kind of catch up. From the church, you hear a voice that's just giddy with laughter. It doesn't sound like the assistant or the reverend, but it is another kind of high-pitched male voice that just sounds crazy.
One of the things I would have done while I was running over there is I would have looked at both Luna and Azare and been like, why didn't you tell us that she was pregnant?
She wasn't pregnant when we were there. Otherwise, I would have shared that.
Not in the
Well,
least.
that's not normal.
Not in the least, which is why I didn't want to go in that church.
Okay. We are now back up to Luna.
Okay.
You can go to this, go to actions. Yeah. And that'll tell you what your range is and everything.
Go to action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 150 feet.
I asked you how far that is.
DM, her longbow can shoot about 150 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can she cover the distance and get a shot off?
Yep. At this point, you wouldn't need to. You would just be able to walk over to the edge of the building, like if you wanted to go on this little corner over here.
Right.
She'd be able to get there easily just using her movement, and then she can take her action to make an attack if she wants to.
Okay, so
Would
I
we-
want to move to the corner of the house.
Okay.
And then
DM,
I
would we have
want to-
seen how many people have come out yet?
Give me a perception check.
21.
You, since you are very book learned and you do a lot of quick calculations and a lot of stuff like that, you can count that there are about 14 townsfolk, mostly women and children as well. And then there are 5 other men that are armed with like bats and pitchforks and like actual weapons.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Luna, do you want to attack one of the ones on the bridge, or do you want to just shoot out into the gathering mob?
The closest.
I want to shoot out at the one on the bridge that's closest.
That has
Okay.
a weapon.
That has a weapon.
Yes. Go ahead and give me. Go ahead and make an attack.
Okay, I'm sorry, what do I need to give you?
So you're going to make an attack.
Yep.
So you're going to roll the d20 and then add the +6 for your longbow.
26.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
One is a D8 plus 4.
Correct.
D8 is, this one. 6, 10.
Okay. Luna makes sure to aim her bow really carefully, and she lets the arrow loose, flying towards the man. It's one of the men that's on the bridge, and you see the arrow just puncture his leg. He is still standing, just looking very rough.
Well, they won't be moving very fast.
Okay, so that was Luna's turn. So we are at Rainson.
I will move forward 30 feet towards the bridge and hold both attack actions.
You would actually be able to get to the bridge. At the moment, there are 2 men standing on the bridge.
Oh, well, then they're going to meet my rapiers.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Yeah, let me figure out where that is in here. Actions. First one's a 20, 15 plus 5.
Definitely hits.
For 6 points.
Okay,
Offhanded is a 17.
that hits.
Another 6 points.
Okay. As you guys have pretty much lost sight of Rancent, um, he just kind of appeared as you were looking out at the bridge at Luna's shot. The man was kind of doubled over, clutching onto his leg, and Rancent just slides up and just stabs him through the throat with the rapier, and he just falls down. The other man, Rancent, just kind of spins around and makes another lunge at the other guy standing on the bridge, piercing his abdomen. But he's looking rough. He's not too happy at that.
Now that I'm in melee range of these weird guys,
Yes.
can I tell anything's unusual about them?
Nope, they just look like townsfolk.
Okay. Not blank stares or anything.
Nope. Their eyes are very much full of rage and hatred towards the person that just stabbed them.
Good.
Roland. Roland aims he kind of walks a little bit towards the bridge. He doesn't go for the house, but he gets to be about right here as I try and draw a horrible star. And he just aims his gun, and you just hear another loud explosion from the gun. And what was once the man's head is no longer in existence. It's just gone. Faustus.
Okay, so the two people in the bridge are taken care of.
Correct.
The one person that came out of the house is already dead.
Correct.
I can't make my way to that X past the bridge, right?
You wouldn't be able to get all the way there. The most you'd probably be able to get is like right below the top part of the T,
Okay.
if that's where you want to go.
All right. So I'll make my way to the bridge too,
Okay.
and I'll hold my action.
What are you holding?
As soon as somebody comes close, I'm bashing with the mace.
Okay.
But I do want to tell Branson, because I did just see him like slit somebody's throat. Remember, there's women and children. We're not here just to kill everybody.
No, I pretty much kill anything that moves.
Okay. Azare?
I will pull out my scimitar and my shield, but I'm gonna hang back and kind of keep an eye on everybody just in case I need to either make a quick retreat or come to somebody's rescue.
Okay. Do you want to just stay at this little intersection that you were at, or do you want to get one way or another closer?
They're all pretty much at the bridge. I'll go up to the base of the T at the base of the bridge.
Okay.
But still kind of hang back from everybody else. I'm not attacking yet.
Okay, so you're kind of back by where Roland is at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Yeah, at the moment, the townsfolk and all that are not at the bridge yet. There were two that were on the bridge, but they were dispatched by both Luna and Rancent. And then Faustus is pretty much up on the bridge with Rancent.
Okay.
Hamilton, what you doing?
I will join Rancent and Faustus on the bridge. I will draw my longsword and hold my shield.
Okay. Do you want to hold your attack for if anything gets closer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we have 3 people now on the bridge as the townsfolk, manage to make it up to the bridge. 3 of them are pretty much coming up to meet Ransom, Hamilton, and Faustus on the bridge. Ransom, I gotta find my page. Ransom, the person that's coming up to you is just looks like at one point might have been a farmer in his life. He's not really holding any weapons. He's just trying to attack you with his fists. Does a non-nat 20 hit?
Yeah, that will.
You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as he just decks you across the face.
That's adorable.
Faustus, as you're standing there, a little kid comes up to you. He's just tears streaming down his face. He looks scared. He's trying to kind of looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, why everyone's acting like they are. And he just kind of clutches onto your leg for protection.
Kill it.
I'm guessing a 10 does not hit you, does it, Faustus?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So
but I recognize it as an attack, right?
As you are, as he's clutching onto your leg, you can see him kind of reach behind his back to pull out a little shiv and tries to stab you with it, but manages to just get thrown off a little bit and swings a little wildly. You can tell he's never practiced with this weapon before, but it was an attack against you.
This hurts. Emotionally. It's only emotional damage. Oh, damn it. I was holding an action.
You were. Someone came within range.
Dash that orphan.
Okay, I'm not trying to kill the kid. So so probably like an underhanded like pommel strike to the gut would be
so
more
non-lethal damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still a mace.
Go ahead and roll for attack.
That would be 18 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
And that would be 8 damage.
Okay. As Faustus is like standing there, he's like, I'm sorry, and just kind of jabs him with the butt of his mace in the stomach. The kid just instantly vomits all over Faustus as he goes kind of flying backward, propelled by the vomit, before just laying in the dry river bed, just passed out.
I will dry heave at that. I'm just saying.
Okay. Hamilton, one coming up to you, actually has a scimitar, and he's going to attack you. Does an 18 hit? You're muted.
How do I tell?
So what's your armor class?
Armor class.
Armor class is 18.
Okay, so for something to hit you, they have to get an 18 or higher. Unfortunately, he rolled an 18. So he is attacking you for 3 slashing damage.
That up here.
So damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there. Okay. Okay.
Okay, and it is so he did come into your melee range, so you can make your attack against him now.
Okay. So then my attack would be
You would roll the d20 for your longsword and then add 6.
24.
That'll definitely hit. We'll go ahead and roll damage.
That's a. What do I roll for damage?
For the longsword, it would be a d8. And then
D8
you
plus 4.
add, yep,
Oh.
d8 plus 4.
11.
Okay. As he comes and slices at you, you just kind of deflect it a little bit so it wasn't as bad as it could have been, and you just bring your sword just slashing right into where his shoulder and his neck meet, and he just drops to the ground dead. Other townsfolk start kind of spreading and climbing over the riverbed. So you now have townsfolk right here, and right here meeting the 3 of them on the bridge kind of head on. So they've kind of split up into 3 groups. And that is their turn. Zoros.
I take a position because Nadi is back because she shot at range. So I take a
Yeah,
position
she'd be
in
about
front
right
of.
here.
Huh?
Yeah, she'd be about right here. I just kind of drew an L on
I take
there.
a position near her to protect her and
Okay.
hold my action.
And you're holding it for if something gets in range.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I assume nothing's in range for me, right?
At the moment, no.
I also assume I can't get within range of anything.
If you wanted to, so from where you were originally before you moved over to Luna, you could have come up and met the
Yeah, but that would have left her completely uncovered as they flanked them. So I'm moving up to Luna.
I'll move up. I'm first.
Yeah, but you don't need to move. You can fight from range. Let them come to us. Maybe you can get another shot off before they get close enough.
So for you, Zora, since you are at the end of the initiative order, your attack, the holding it, only works until we get to the top of initiative again, which will be after Ben goes, basically.
That doesn't matter. I don't need to attack. I'll
Okay.
just sit tight. I need
Okay, works for me. S.
I'm aiming for any adult male that I can see.
Okay. Which grouping do you want to go for? They're kind of interspersed throughout all 3 groups.
I can see adult males in all 3 groups.
Not all of them are like holding swords. Some of them are like brandishing, table legs as clubs. Like they're
Right.
not all kind of the bigger, bulkier people.
And that's fine. I'll just then aim for group A. So that would be in the bottom left-hand corner. There you go.
Okay.
And I'm going to point my finger at him and shoot a nice little firebolt at him. 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 7 damage.
You start smelling some burnt hair as one of the men just erupt into flames and drops dead. The laughter that you guys kind of heard from the church carrying on the wind, it's still getting kind of louder and more not frantic, but just more crazed. And that brings us back up to Luna.
No fire.
Okay, I'm gonna fire.
The group coming down towards us, right?
Right.
So the one in the group that Ben just shot at.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
I'm gonna target the person holding the weapon, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Was it that?
it's right here. on the- on my-
Okay, just roll 20-sided dice. 3, 7.
Yeah. Okay. So Luna is she's kind of taken aback by Eth just lighting someone on fire, and unfortunately her shot just goes a little bit too far and misses the group. Rancid.
Yes. No one is currently engaged with me, or correct?
No, I
Those
think
are all dead.
you had a guy that punched you.
Oh, so I do have the guy who punched me still there.
Yes.
Okay, well then, Rapier 1
Okay.
is a 21
That'll hit.
for 9 points of damage.
He drops dead.
And is there anyone else adjacent to me at this point?
No, you'd have to move forward a little bit to kind of meet them on the other side of the bridge.
I mean, I'll go ahead and do that because I'm a ransomed.
Okay. Give me another attack.
Ooh, that's only a 10.
Still hits.
All right. For 4 points, I rolled a 1.
Still actually kills it. You actually went and attacked one of the women there, and she just dropped.
They all look the same to me. All right, they're dirty townsfolk. I'm gonna back up since I'm no longer engaged.
Okay. Roland is turning his attention to the group that's under the U, and he is letting out 2 shots, both at, first one at one of the more armored people. That definitely hits. You guys see a hole kind of appear in the guy's stomach as he falls over. And then he takes his other aim at, oh, that's not pretty. He takes his aim at one of the children that was coming running towards him. And there really is nothing left of that child that is recognizable anymore. Faustus.
Damn it.
That means you're going to have to kill him now too, right?
I'm not sure if I'll eventually see it, but I'm sure it happened behind me.
Yeah, at this point it was all behind you, so you just heard the explosions of the gunshots.
To be fair, you
but-
probably also would have heard me say something like, "Holy shit, did you see that kid blow up?"
Actually, Eth, you probably would have been more like,
That's true. Never mind then. Yes.
Okay. All right. So straight in front of me, how many people are there left?
there are about 3 more people in the group in front of you.
Women and
And
children, all?
It is, yeah, 1 woman, 2 children.
Gosh. Well, it worked the first time, so pummel strike another kid, I guess.
More vomit.
Go ahead and roll for an attack.
That's a 12 to hit.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
And that's 3 damage.
Okay. This one, he kind of curls over a little bit. He does not hurl. He is kind of teetering on the edge of passing out, but is still managing to keep his lunch in his stomach. Azair. So you pretty much have a group of, let's see how many people are in that group. You probably have about 3 people left in that group. It's a man and 2 women. None of them
Okay.
look like the bigger, bulkier, armored ones.
They all do?
No, none of them do.
Oh, none of them do. One second. Okay, so am I close enough to hit anybody?
Yeah, I mean, you can move towards them and attack them.
You would be
Can-
alone if you went to that group down there, though. You would be
I
by
thought
yourself.
Roland
That's-
was down there.
Roland's here at the star.
That's the group that he is attacking, that Roland is attacking, but he is not
but-
physically with them.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to attack on my own.
You can go back
Um,
down here by the building where.
Yeah, I'm gonna scooch back to where Zoros and Luna are
Okay.
and kind of just hang out and see how this is going if we need to move up and help again.
Okay. Your turn. Hamilton. You're on the bridge.
Yeah.
You got a
And now
lady and a
there's
kid.
there's a woman and a child, right?
A woman and 2 kids. Faustus he did not knock one out.
Right. He's conscious but just. And
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh God. Yeah. I think I'm gonna try to go the high route, and I will use the butt of my sword and try to swing at another child in the abdomen region and see if I can take one out without killing him.
Okay. Go
Or-
ahead and roll for an attack.
11.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Eight.
Okay. That kid doubles over and just is immediately knocked out.
No projectile vomit. I'm
No
good.
projectile vomit.
I'm so sorry, child.
Now it is their turn. So, child that Faustus hit is going to attack him back. Does an 18 hit you, Faustus?
That it does.
Okay. You take 1 point of damage as he starts hitting you with his little toy train. The woman in that group is going to attack Hamilton and misses. So the group on the left is going to move up towards Zoros, Luna, and Azair. The armored guy is going to attack Zoros because he is kind of up there in front. Nope, he misses as well. He is still so distraught over, someone he's known for his entire life just bursting into flames and dying next to him. Speaking of which, where are you? Are you still at the little crossroads here?
Yes, I would not have moved from my last
Okay.
spot.
Okay. One of the women is going to come up and attack you.
Okay.
And I'm assuming and hoping a 7 does not hit you.
That does not hit me.
Okay. Woman coming up to attack Azair. Does a 14 hit you, Azair?
That's my armor class.
Okay, then she does hit you. So she just kind of runs at you, like fingernails extended, just trying to pull hair and claw at anything she can. She deals 3 damage to you.
That's my points, correct?
Yep, so you take 3 damage. And then the last guy just comes and tries to punch Zoros again because he is standing in front of Luna. Zoros, does a 13 hit you?
Nope, 15.
Okay. Then that is their turn. And that is all of that. Zoros, your turn. So you have a kind of armored guy with a sword standing in front of you and an older farmer guy standing.
Armored guy with the sword.
Okay, roll attack.
Nope.
What'd you get?
Wait, I gotta see what my modifier is to my 3 I just rolled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Because it'd be
I'm
6.
kidding.
I know, but it's still honest. And that's the thing, is you always still want to tell me, just because some things have really low armor class, that even rolling a 3 might still hit them.
Okay.
Okay, so that was Zoros. F.
I mean, I gotta point my finger at the lady who just came up and tried to smack me.
Okay.
She bursts into flames.
23 to hit,
That'll hit.
5 damage.
And she bursts into flames right in front of you, getting a huge waft of just burnt hair. And we are back up to Luna.
Okay, I'm going to shoot at the heavily armored guy that hit Zoros.
Okay. You will need to back up a bit more, just because longbows are not meant to be shot within melee range.
Okay,
So I mean, you could just move your move your movement away from them. If you want to kind of stand over by where F is, you should still be fine to hit the armored guy.
then that's where I will move to.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
18.
Plus,
That'll
Doesn't matter if
would
you got
hit.
it. And
Roll damage.
8 plus 4. 8, 12.
Well, Luna aims better this time. Now she's used to people bursting into flames around her. And you just see the arrow just go all the way through from the guy's eye socket out the back of his head. And he drops dead. And that was the last just the last armored person.
so I wink at Zoros and let you move on to the next person.
Ransom.
Well, since Mr. Mace won't do what's necessary, where's that nearest child?
He has one that he's currently engaged in combat with.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and head on over there and just stab the hell out of that kid, because...
I think the woman attacked Hamilton. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, no one attacked me this time, at least not that I'm aware of.
No,
How's a 14 do?
that hits.
And he's engaged with this child, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and do 14 points of damage with 1 rapier with sneak attack.
He now looks like Swiss cheese with how many times Ransom just stabbed this kid.
You got a little something on you. If I have any movement left, I do have an offhanded attack still.
You do.
Okay. Offhand is going to be a 22. If there's another child nearby, that'd be great, but I'll take a lady too.
Yeah, the lady's the only one left over.
Alrighty. 8 points of additional rapier.
She falls dead.
And that's how you do it.
Sounds to me like Ransom wants to get murdered by his own comrades.
I will, since the wizard was kind enough to also barbecue things, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't break myself off a leg or a thigh or something.
Well, nothing around you is barbecued.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Roland's going to take 2 more shots. Both of them hit. And 2 more townsfolk fall dead in the group by the U. So there is 1 more person in the group by the U, and then another person that is engaged with Zoros and one that is engaged with Azair. And it is Faustus's turn.
Oh, jeez. I'm at a crossroads.
No, the crossroads is a little bit more north, up by Shebs.
I know. Because there's really only 1 or 2 things that Faustus could do. So I'll go for the less violent one. I'll drop my mace and I will vomit on the ground.
Vomit away.
That's my action.
Okay. Okay, that is Faustus. Now to Azair. You currently have a woman that just raked your face with her fingernails.
Okay. She is not otherwise armed
Nope.
besides her arms.
Nope, just fingernails.
Okay. I'm going to punch her in the face
Okay.
if I punch her in the face with a hand that holds my scimitar, is that still just an unarmed strike?
No, you could basically kind of hit her with the butt of your scimitar. So it would be using your scimitar's attack.
Okay. I want to try and knock her out.
Okay.
That beats her out.
So a 20.
That'll hit.
I didn't hit it. Sorry, I'm rolling a 20. Is that correct?
Yes, sorry. Yes, you roll a 20, and then you would add your, let's say, scimitar's dex modifier.
So I got a 6.
That does not hit.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So you go to try and, smash her in the face with the scimitar, and she just kind of ducks out of the way, ready to lunge at your face again.
Yes.
Hamilton. Faustus is just thrown up on you, or thrown up next to you, while Rancid has just gone and made Swiss cheese out of both a woman and a child.
Oh, God. All right. So I guess, can I assess the situation, kind of see how many people are left, where everybody is and whatnot?
Yeah, taking a quick look around, you see one other person that is over on the by the U and Tull, and then there are 2 other people that are up here by Zoros and Azair, and those are all the people that you see.
God. I suppose I will. I'm going to turn around and face back towards the bridge. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to put away my longsword and just kind of stay where I am.
Okay. Then that would be the townsfolk. The one over by the U is going to come up to Roland and attack him. Hits. You see a man kind of come up and punch Roland across the jaw. He kind of reels back, his hand kind of hurting a little bit, but Roland just kind of shrugs it off like it's no big deal. And then woman is going to attack Azair again, clawing at her face. but misses. And then the last guy is just a normal guy trying to punch Zoros and misses as well. They were useful this round. Zoros, on to you.
Can I subdue mine?
Yeah, if you want to, you can still attack and do non-lethal damage, meaning you want to kill him, but you might knock him out, if that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, my hope is to get a hold of one of these townspeople and we can interrogate and question, what the hell are you thinking? So
Yeah, you could try that.
I want to try to subdue mine.
Okay.
I had 15 plus 4.
That'll hit. So you managed to kind of get him in a like a
They
sleeper
can-
hold.
I used my battle or my warhammer to up over his head. I only did 5 damage though.
So with that, you managed to kind of. Now, are you trying to knock him out, or are you just trying to kind of hold him so he doesn't?
I'm trying to
Right.
incapacitate him so that we can interrogate him later. So if it's possible to like put him in a submission type hold, I want to do that. If that's not really an option, if that's not something we do in this
No, that's
game.
fine. You can do that. So you put the you kind of trap his arms behind him, so his arms are now basically trapped between his body and your body, and you kind of hold the hammer up to his head, just kind of holding him in place. Not necessarily damaging him, but just making it where he can't move and can't do anything without you letting him, basically.
Okay.
Okay. F. So you see that Zoros now has a guy in kind of like a little submission hold. You have a girl that is attacking Azair, and you have another guy that is attacking Roland.
I'll point my finger at the one that's attacking Zazair.
Okay. Can roll for attack.
12
That'll hit.
for 5 damage.
She drops dead, burnt to a crisp.
You're vicious, Seth.
Luna, back up to you. So there are 2 people left.
I'm rolling.
Okay, I will shoot at the one that's on Roland.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack.
17.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
12.
That one is pierced through the side and falls down dead.
I'm sorry, it was 10, Kev. I
That's still,
was looking at mine.
no worries, it's still good. So at this point, you have one person that Zoros is holding. As the last townsfolk die, you hear the doors of the church just slam open. But nothing is moving, just the doors slam open. Roland looks to you and looks to the church and just starts sprinting to the church.
I'm at rolling.
So he's not able to get all the way there. He's able to get pretty much about here. Ransom, what are you doing? So you see Zoros is holding one of the townsfolk. Kind of in this mission wood.
I'm going to go over there for my main action and attempt to intimidate information out of the held person to determine if he's going to remain alive or not.
Give me an intimidation check.
17.
I mean, you intimidate him. What are you saying?
Why did the town suddenly turn on us? Because they were talking to a suddenly pregnant preacher lady about weird stuff.
As you go and talk to him, you can see he's starting to kind of pee himself a little bit. And just says, well, the Reverend told us to attack the interlopers, so that's what we were doing.
Does she often tell you things? Who does she work for?
I don't know. You think they tell us this stuff like that? We go to mass every Sunday and worship the man Jesus.
Okay, well, he done peed, so I think he's giving us everything. I don't know what else to ask him, but he's good and scared.
At this point, if anybody else wants to ask anything, by all means, yeah, I'll kind of let it be a little free conversation real quick.
How did the Reverend tell you to attack everybody?
Well, she told us to wait for a sign, and well, I mean, you heard the scream. You just kind of figured that was a sign.
Was it worth the death of the whole town?
That's a good question. What's the purpose of the whole deal?
Purpose was to kill the interlopers. You know, we have devoted our lives to the man Jesus, and if the Reverend told us to kill the interlopers because they were interfering, then that's what we do. You know,
Interfering with what, per se?
do you think she tells me what the higher workings are?
Does your Jesus teach you to kill a lot of people?
I mean, I only learned what I learned from Sylvia, from the Reverend. So
So she said it was
sure.
okay.
Yeah, she told us it was okay that you guys were interfering, so we had to stop
kill,
you.
Do you kill a lot of people who come to your town?
Not many people come to our town. You guys were the first people to come to the town since I don't even remember when.
What about when the man in black came to town?
Well, when he came to town, you know, he did his thing to bring Nort back, and we were all having a party while he went and talked to Reverend, and then that was the last we ever saw him.
I think we got what we needed.
So you want me to stab him now, or?
No.
How about we go for unconscious?
Yeah, I've never gone for unconscious. That is 20.
Well, so Zoros, are you going to allow Ransom to stab him, or do you want to knock him unconscious?
Yeah, I tightened the axe across his neck, choke him out. He's unconscious.
Okay, he drops just limp.
Well, that's sad.
So this was like a
prisoner.
2-3 minute conversation.
It happened really quickly, pretty much while Roland was running towards the church.
Okay.
I'll take my movement that way too.
What I would have done while everybody else was talking to the prisoner, I would have tried to tend to the 2 kids that are not dead.
Okay, how are you tending to them?
Well, checking their pulse to make sure that they're not dead, and then I'll drag them to that house.
I mean, they're not dead. It would pretty much you'd be able to drag them to the house during the exchange of information.
Okay. Inside the house, is there like a closet, pantry, something where I can just put the kids in so they don't get into trouble?
Not really. It's a very modest house. They don't have.
Okay.
It's kind of think of like studio apartment, but more open. Turlets
Not even
right
a
next
chest,
to the bed.
a large chest or anything.
He said they're not dead, but are they like gonna be any threat? I mean, how many broken ribs does it take to keep a kid down?
3.
Still, I just don't want them leaving the house. tie
I mean,
them up somewhere?
You could barricade the door to kind of stop them from being able to open it.
Okay.
Okay. Door has been barricaded. Are you guys following Roland, or because at this point he's pretty much gotten to the doors of the church.
Are we going to continue on with the order that we've started already?
Yes.
So then at this point, then whose turn would it be?
It'd be Azer's, but I'm still fine letting you guys just pretty much kind of run to the church and then start initiative over at the top of the round.
So I wouldn't have started running. I'm assuming the church is made of wood.
Yeah, it's actually more of like a stone and plaster, more of a nicer building than just wood.
Then I would run because stone and plaster doesn't burn. So yeah, I would run.
Okay. As you guys get up towards the doors of the church, you see Roland just kind of standing there a little bit in horror. As you look into the church, you no longer see the Reverend. What is in her place is this still vaguely woman-esque form, still looking 8 months pregnant, but her skin has turned like a bluish gray. Her hair has become just matted and just tangled and falling out in areas. She has a very, very evil smile on her face as she just lifts a finger up towards you guys and beckons you into the church. And from here, we will pick up with the initiative order, starting with Luna.
Wow, I look at her thinking, boy, she should use the Mary Kay. And I'm not willing to walk into the church first. I kind of want to be behind. So am I in range to shoot an arrow at her?
You are.
So then let me go ahead and be the first to shoot an arrow at her.
12.
12.
12 plus sorry.
No, you're fine. But you rolled a 12 on the die, then
Yeah.
12 plus 6.
Yeah, that's going to hit.
So D8 plus 4. Jesus. 12 again.
Okay.
Plus 4 initiative.
No.
Okay, so that is Luna's turn. Next is Rancent.
The only thing I know how to do, charge.
Okay.
An 18 and a 16 for 2 attacks.
Both will hit.
First was an 11, and the second is 6, so 17 points.
Okay.
Did she look surprised?
No. Roland will raise his guns and shoot at the head. He hits with one, but not with the other, and deals 10 points of damage to her. And then it is her turn.
Uh-oh.
Uh, so the form of the Reverend just lifts her hand up and points at Roland and just says, "You will never find him." And she utters, she kind of mutters under his breath, or under her breath, and you just see Roland, all of his muscles just go slack, and he just falls to the ground. Faustus.
Does the figure of the Reverend look bloody? Like, what kind of impression does she give?
She's looking pretty bloody. I mean, she's been stabbed a couple times, shot a couple times by both an arrow and gun. So she's not looking like she's having a good time.
Okay. So I'll approach Mason hand and swing for the head.
Okay,
That's unnatural 20.
that'll hit.
And that's just 3 points of damage.
Okay. Azair.
Are we all in the doorway?
Pretty much, you guys are like outside of the double doors, kind of seeing into the church at the moment.
Okay. I want to take a quick look around and see if I can see anything else, like her assistant or anything, since we had seen him earlier.
Give me a perception check.
22.
You see, kind of from where you guys are, she is kind of standing kind of down the main aisle of the church. So she has like pews on either side of her. You kind of notice in the back right hand corner of the church that there is some movement, but it's not easily seen. So it's not like it's someone that's standing up, but more looks like someone just kind of crouched over.
Okay. I'm gonna hang back. Question for the DM. You said my medicine is more like herb based or like plant based and all that. It's not gonna be like me going to check a pulse or anything like that, or
You'll still, I mean, with medicine check, you can check pulses, you can like stabilize someone if they're dying.
okay.
It's not going to heal them, but it might kind of stabilize someone.
Okay. I'm gonna check on Roland and see if he just collapsed or if it's something worse.
When you go and kind of look at him, give me a medicine check.
17.
You feel for a pulse. There's something there, but it is extremely weak and irregular. His eyes are kind of rolled up in the back of his head.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be all that you would be able to do this turn. So Hamilton.
I suppose I'll go for the crazy lady as well.
Okay.
I'll charge with my longsword and attack.
Okay.
13.
That unfortunately misses. As you go and run and charge at her, your foot kind of catches on the little carpet runner down the aisle, and kind of not enough to where you're actually, tripping and falling over, but enough that it catches you off guard and your swing goes a little wide.
That's about right.
Doros.
I'm gonna go take my swing.
Okay.
16.
You see this little dwarf kind of running up and looks at Hamilton and is like, watch, this is how it's done. Go ahead and roll damage.
14.
How would you like to do this? What would you like to do to kill her?
What?
How would you like to kill her?
How would I like to kill her?
Yep. How would you like to do this? You can just give me like very rough, and I'll spin it.
Oh, I leap through the air as high as I can and bring my warhammer justice down on top of her head.
So you see this little dwarf just kind of running up through the church. He's gaining momentum, and with Hamilton kind of a little staggered from his little trip, you see this dwarf just jump up onto Hamilton's back, leap off of him like a little springboard, bringing his giant warhammer onto her head, and the body just crumples. Blood splatters everywhere as the head just exploded in a shower of gore and viscera. The body kind of twitches once or twice and then lays still.
Swoop. Yeah.
What about the baby?
I mean, do you want
Cut her open and
to,
oh.
what do you want to do about the baby?
Well, I'm assuming the baby will die with the mother unless it's extremely evil, then it might like pop out of her stomach and attack us. So is her stomach moving?
No, it's not moving. It doesn't look like there's little hands trying to press its way out.
Then I guess nothing.
Okay.
I would like to search everywhere in the church because we know that, like, she wasn't the only one in there from before. So I would just like to look around to see if there's anything or any other person in here, like that little bodyguard she had.
As you go a little bit deeper into the church, you too also see the movement that Azair saw earlier. And as you look, you see the body of the bodyguard laying on the ground, and you see the figure of Nort with pretty much had ripped open its chest cavity and is just kind of playing with the innards and laughing and cackling this entire time.
Oh.
Well, I think I found your dead guy, guys.
Should we stab it, or I mean?
You can. I'm going to thoroughly throw up.
Constitution check. No, Constitution saving throw. That's what it'd be.
$18.
So Eth is like, I'm gonna go throw up, and he kind of stands back in the corner and kind of like sitting there like, ooh, ooh, hold on, it's coming. But never is able to actually ever throw up. Azair, are you still by Roland?
Yes.
Okay, so as you're kind of checking on him and checking to see what's going on, you kind of see his eyes kind of roll back into focus and are just laser locked onto your eyes. You hear his breathing is very ragged, very shallow. From your medicine check, you can tell that he probably does not have long left in the world. But as he kind of like looks up at you and looks into your eyes, you kind of see his eyes glaze over a little bit, and you just hear him kind of whisper, "Dark Tower, stop the Crimson King." And he just kind of, his head rolls a little bit to the east, out towards the desert, and he's gone.
No.
Guys, Roland is dead.
Roland is dead.
Dibs on his guns.
Loot the body.
I mean, if you're looting the body, he has 2 guns. I will get you the stats on those guns later, because they are actually interesting guns. Other than that, he doesn't really have much. You see another pouch that has another 25 gold in it that he promised to give y'all. 25 gold each that he promised to give you guys at the beginning, so he was true to his word. He did have the gold to pay you. Other than that, jeans, hat, jacket. He didn't really have much on him.
I mean, it feels like it'd be a shame to let a fancy hat go to waste, though.
You can wear the hat.
Wait, did any of those women folk have bonnets? Because that changes my decisions.
No. It wasn't a Little House on the Prairie.
All right, hat it is.
So the only person outside of our group that's left alive, it was Nort playing in the dead bodyguard.
Yep. And technically the 2 kids that Faustus barricaded into the house.
Okay.
Who are technically alive.
Is the guy that the Zoros knocked out, is he still alive? He's just
Nah, yeah, he would still be alive. He's just unconscious.
So if he wakes up, he can take care of the kids. That'd probably be fine.
Theoretically.
So Hamilton,
Because he seemed like
Faustus,
a
do you wanna deal-
fatherly type.
I mean, at least they're from the same town. I don't want to just leave kids locked in a house. I mean,
True.
Hamilton and Faustus, do you want to deal with the weird guy in the entrails?
Yep.
Probably would be necessary.
How should we handle him?
Nort, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, he just kind of looks at you and just keeps cackling and giggling happily as he's playing in the guts, trying to make a little bow out of the intestines, but not very nimbly. So he's just having a good time.
Far gone on the devil's weed grass.
I think it's time to return him back to whence he came.
I think it's time for Nort to finish his story.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Can we do it quick?
Well, I'd say we give the paladin first shot.
you saw how I tripped back there. That I appreciate the redemption chance. So I go and attack with my longsword.
Okay. So Nort doesn't even react to you coming up to him, and as you come up behind him, you say a quick little prayer to Kellenfor, and you just kind of put your hand on his forehead and just slit his throat. At which point the body just falls over and stops moving.
And all is
Stop
right.
breathing before. I say we cut his head off and bury it somewhere.
Oh, he stopped moving before. So
How do you even know headless is going to make a difference?
Well,
Burn
if
it.
he's headless, his head's not going to walk around, and if his body doesn't have a head, he can't see anything, so he's a lot less of a threat. So I say take his head.
I don't know about the desecration of the body. I mean, he's dead. He was revived last time by the Man in Black, and assuming the Man in Black isn't going to come back and resurrect the whole town, I would say we return these people back to the earth and see where we can go from here.
He's still undead.
So we light him on fire. I mean,
I'll-
not like in a bonfire sense, but
I
like
was gonna say ashes count as returning
I
it.
should-
maybe like be respectful, of course, and light them on fire so they don't come back.
No, I would like to give him the most respect, so I will cast Guiding Bolt, which would be like an 18 to hit a non-moving
Yeah.
target.
As you're, you kind of point your finger out and you see the divine light kind of erupt from your fingers. It makes contact with Mort's body and erupts in a flame that is bright but strangely not hot. But as the body kind of picks up in this flame, you see it just start to disintegrate until nothing is left.
Question. Have we, not for the DM, this is for the
Okay.
group, have we ensured that the child was still inside the womb?
We have not gotten to the body of the witch yet.
Okay, I
They
think
left
that
the lady
should
alone.
be the next course of action.
No doctor, but I'll take a look if you want.
I feel like Ransom might need to step back a little bit.
Anyone that wants to inspect the woman's body that is trained in medicine can give me a medicine check.
See, that keeps me out.
Exactly.
I'm not that kind of doctor.
Yeah,
You would
Ren,
have
I'll
thought
take
that
a
it
look.
was
you're
all
not
done
really
like
an
that on purpose.
OBGYN.
I got a 12.
Okay. I mean, it's not difficult to see. You kind of try and just feel around. You could feel that there is something still in there, but it is not moving at all.
Which is fine. I just wanted to make sure that she didn't, pop a kid out before she came out and did anything. Because if she was able to go from normal to 8-month looking pregnant in one night, if she had given birth, this thing could be a full-fledged person in just a couple of days.
He makes a fine point. Can I arcana the corpse?
Sure.
20, 25?
You don't get any magical essence from the corpse at all.
Okay.
You want to call that good? Do we need to do anything else to help the baby?
Would anybody say no if I firebolted the body?
Like I'm gonna stop you.
I wasn't necessarily asking you. I was asking the two people with the mace and the sword. I don't want you coming after me. I am a very frail person.
Do what you need to do. I'll just walk outside the church.
Be respectful.
Hey, before we
I mean,
light
I'm
another
not
fire-
going to laugh while I'm doing it.
Before we light another fire in the church and potentially burn it down, don't you think we should probably check for secret doors or stairs to a basement, a ritual place, anything out of the ordinary?
That is also a fine point.
That is, I'm not good at finding things, so I would say if anybody else who is good at finding things wants to take a look around before I do it.
I think I am. I'm not sure though.
Which one's finding things?
Investigation. You guys can just give me investigation checks.
I don't have a very good investigation.
20.
20 guy. Whoa,
I didn't find anything.
I did a 12.
Okay. Ransom searching around while they're, talking religion and all that fun stuff. You find a door behind behind where the altar is at. It leads to just kind of a more lavish bedroom than you would normally expect. You find in here just a lot of clothes for the Reverend, and then you also find a small chest that has about 30 gold in it.
Well, that was unexciting.
It's a poor desert town. What did you expect?
At least one pretty dress.
I mean, all of her robes look very nice. They're very neat. You
Do they
know,
look wizardly?
no, they look just more ceremonial.
Ceremonial wizardly?
No.
All right, well, I guess we split the gold, and anyone want a robe? I mean, keeps the sand out of cracks.
True. I'm okay though.
Well, I'm going to start burying some bodies. Anybody care to join? Feel free. If not, understood.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll help.
That works. You guys can just kind of spend the rest of the day. It'd probably take you to about midnight to dig up like a mass grave big enough to be able to hold all the bodies.
Hey, before we bury him, did we check them and was any of the armor salvageable or any of the weapons usable or any of the...
Rummage through pockets.
I'm interested in that toy train the one kid was carrying. So
I mean, you can have a toy train.
Why did you give him a toy train?
bludgeoning
Anybody-
weapon.
Was I the
Um,
only one that heard what Roland said?
You were, because you were the only one that was back there.
Before we disperse, can I talk to everybody?
Floor is yours.
Sure.
So before Roland died, he was all weird, but he couldn't get up or anything, but he said he mentioned again the Dark Tower and the red guy, the Crimson King, and he said, oh gosh, what did he say? He said that, but then he went and looked off into the desert in the east, and I feel like maybe that should be after we take care of everything in the town. Maybe we need to start heading in that direction or see if there was anything left like that Alice has that Roland had. If we've got to, are we going to help him still? Do we need to finish the town and then talk about this? I feel like this is a big thing.
This is a good point. I mean, are we finished as a group after this? Because, I mean, the man who hired us is now, deceased.
He paid me to stab something to death, so
DM, what do you know if I would have been going east or would I have been going west? Do you know which way?
So for most of you, pretty much all of you, to get to Tull, you would all be going east. So you would have all come from
Okay.
the west.
So what I'll say is this: there's nothing left in this town. There's clearly not enough for me to stop and put down whatever kind of roots I could have here. So I have nowhere else to go but forward, and forward is east.
I'm with you.
I feel good about the Shady Wizard, so I mean, I'm going to follow that.
I definitely don't want to stay in a town that eats the horses,
The
How about
horse
you,
was
Doc?
delicious.
but they were disgusting looking. Who knows what diseases they had?
I was saying, I
Right.
think you
Yeah.
took.
That'd be fine.
I think you took some of his horse bacon.
We have a cleric.
Okay,
Speaking
so
of, is he still planning on staying with us, or
I don't know. Roland promised me some information, and obviously he's not going to be able to make good on that word.
Maybe
So-
it's in his stuff somewhere. We should check out his stuff.
I mean, you are the one who seems to know the most about this Crimson King fellow. So,
Or idea, we can drag his body with us, and if we actually get up to the man in black, he can resurrect him.
Might start.
If the man in black is working for the Crimson King, he's not one of the good guys. He's not gonna just do us a favor.
If the
Well,
cleric
okay,
gets
then
real good, I mean, he could have resurrection in a week.
So potentially everybody's on board. This is good, guys. This is progress. And
I think before we leave the town, though, I think we should go back up to Roland's room, see if we can find anything up there, maybe a clue to more about the Dark Tower, maybe more about the Crimson King, maybe even find out a little bit more about where the tower is.
Well, do some of you guys want to work on a proper burial site for the people that are dead now? And the others of us can go and check the room. Do we want to stick together as a group in case something else?
I think we're good. We took out half the town. I'm pretty sure
If
we're
not more.
gonna be okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did Pinchy the piano player and the bar owner actually ever show up? Or
Yeah, was Alice one of the women?
She was not.
Fighting with the.
so that could be concerns going
What about-
back there.
what about Sheb? Was he one of the?
He was not.
What's he gonna do? Pinch you with his thumb and forefinger?
Those are very strong fingers. He plays a lot of piano.
The Vulcan neck pinch.
I
I
think that
told you I'm
You're
very
out
frail.
more than him, but I don't feel like she's a threat. So
Alice and Sheb
I would go back to his
are
room.
then with
Well, I'll tell
Roland.
you what, I'm not made for digging, so I'll go with the ladies and we'll go over and check out Roland's room back at the town while you guys dig ditches.
Well, you said respectfully bury the body, so I think I'm out.
Yeah.
So as you know, as Faustus and Hamilton start to dig the mass grave for the bodies, the rest of you guys go back to Sheb's. You find that Sheb is slumped over his piano. A dagger is sticking out of his back. And you see that Alice has been dragged out of her room, and she is lying on one of the tables with her head at an odd angle, not moving.
Well, shit.
I mean, they were
and-
already okay with people popping back up. Should we double stab them?
No.
I don't
And
think anybody's
guy.
around to bring him back yet. Now, ever, maybe.
I don't know.
and this is where we'll pick it up next session.
Boo.
So thanks everyone that watched, and will watch this recording in the future. Hopefully you had fun, and if you did, go ahead and follow me on Twitch and keep watching every other Saturday. We'll keep playing
Woo.
some more. But thanks everyone for joining, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. That was fun.